Hello fellow coders, welcome to my channel. In this video we will be diving into what functions are and how can be used in Python. A function is a reusable block of code designed to perform a specific task. It takes an input, processes it, and optionally produces an output. Now let's dive into the syntax of a function. A function syntax is such that the keyword def is used, followed by the function name and a list of parameters, and then we write some code in the body of the function. And optionally, a function also has a return statement if there is going to be so basically a function takes an input, a set of parameters as an input, does some processing on those based on those parameters, and then returns an output. The output returned by a function is optional. Let's check out a simple example of function. This example is based on this example is of a function called add underscore numbers. This function essentially takes two parameters a and b as an input, and then it does a mathematical operation on those a and b parameters, and then it stores it into a variable called result, and then it returns an output. It returns the result as an output. So essentially this is a declaration of a function. We are declaring the function called add underscore numbers. Once you have declared a function, the next step is to call the function. This is in here we can see that this is a function call. We are essentially calling the function. So since this function accepts two parameters a and b, we are passing it two arguments 3 and 5, and this, according to the function definition, this function should return an output 8. The function returns an output 8, which is stored in a variable called sum underscore result, and then we print the value of the variables sum underscore result, which is 8. Let's take another example of a function called greet. This function greet essentially takes one parameter name, and then it returns a personalized greeting. So this is a function, so we have declared a function called greet, and it takes only one parameter and it returns a personalized greeting, which is essentially a string. Let's make a function call for greet. We will be passing, since the function greet accepts one argument, we will be passing it a string Alice, and it will return a personalized greeting message. We have to understand that there is one type of functions that will return an output, and there is another type of functions which won't return an output. Let's take the example of this function print underscore message. This function accepts only one parameter as an input, and it just prints the message. It isn't returned. There is no return statement in this function declaration, and so it means that when we call the function, it won't be returning any output. So for instance, if we try to run this, there is we are passing it an argument that is essentially a string, and it would return, and it prints out the message, hello, this is a personalized greeting. I hope you found these examples useful. In my next video, we will be diving into classes and object-oriented programming in Python.